Inner city gun violence, I'm going to be adding on to every time I get a chance up here about inner city gun violence, because we are, our most concentrated area is in regards to supportive services, supportive and outreach services. As many of us know, anytime we go through a tragedy or we hear of a devastating news of a loss or a loved one, majority of the time, we have to face it alone. Dr. Henry and I have had this conversations many times, and I have found myself, when I have to deal with a situation, or I was told about my loved one getting shot, I was there by myself. Pastor Henry, when she lost her son, Norman, she was there by herself. Many others of our family members, extended family members who have lost loved ones have been there by themselves. And we felt like we need to go, we need to have another approach here, because everyone is around when a baby is born, right? But no one is around when someone dies. So that's where inner city comes in, with the idea of coming, being first responders, being the in-betweens and aftercare of a people that loses a loved one in a tragic way, where we can support them and also become an outreach for them to be able to be held on. Somebody always needs somebody to hold them in a time of need, especially when they're losing, when they have lost a loved one in such a horrific way. And that's where inner city is coming in. And so I know for a fact that this service is needed. And that's why we need to work together to make services like this to work in this community, because for some reason it happens in inner city, in the inner cities. Mostly violence in regards to losing our children because of guns. So for those who hear me, support the programs that are out here right now, using the prevention strategies to attempt to discontinue the mentality and the challenges that our youth have right now by picking up that gun and picking up a book. Okay? And we need the support. The finances have to be raised in regards to the organization. And whether you do it now or you do it later, keep inner city gun violence in mind. Support not only inner city gun violence, but every other program that we have branched out with and we connected with, like SOS, Lead by Example. All of these programs are out here to assist and to help and to become a voice for the youth and any other person that is in trouble that may need to get out of the rut that they're in. So now we move on to the next person, to two speakers who decided they wanted to speak together, and they're representing Release the Grip. Please give a warm welcome to Freddie and Michael.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael. And I'm from the Bronx here in this area, and I represent Bronx Connect, Release the Grip. It's an anti-gun violence program that was created to target the high risk in our communities. High risk meaning those that shoot, those that have been shot, those that carry weapons, those that just walk around with a lot of anger in the communities and don't know how to release the anger the right way. When I was told about this, I approached my program director, Chris Garcia, and I just approached him and I told him, like, you have to let me in this. It's necessary, and if you don't, I'm gonna keep coming every day until you give me this job. And it wasn't for the money, because I was in the streets, so I knew what it was like to have the money and throw it away. When I took this job, I'm an outreach worker. I'm in charge of, right now I'm in charge of 17 young men and women. My job is to get them off these streets, provide education, therapy, jobs that are available for those that don't know that out there. There's a lot of jobs out there for the youth, even with felonies. young men and women don't know that. They give up. And I remember being on that side of the wall, you know. So I'm really passionate about this now. It's been a year. I just made a year doing this. And this is probably the longest I ever held a job in my whole entire life.
Awesome.
And it's because I love it. And I want to thank Dr. Esther Henry. From the day we met her, I went to one of her events, and she's been like a mother to us.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
We throw, she's there. So I don't care what I'm doing at the time or what's going on, whether I'm working or not. If she calls for me, she calls for release the book, we are there. I'm just glad that I got the opportunity to be here. I want to thank everybody.
My name is Freddie. I'm an outreach worker. I have 13 gang members and female and males on my caseload. And our program, what we try to do is hire guys that are older from the area and the neighborhoods that have influence over the younger guys and try to get them to stop violence and the things that's happening in the neighborhoods. We help them get in school, we get them jobs. They have legal problems, we have wraparound services that can help with legal problems that they have. If their family have problems, we try to help with their problems. We give out toys for Christmas, we give out book bags, we give out coats for the winter. We try to do a lot for the community. We hold events, feed the whole neighborhood, feed anybody that comes around, and we just try to be there and support the neighborhood. We try to change from what we did when we were young. Our group, it's about 5 of us. And we all been in jail, we all did jail time for felonies, not little things, not things that you may just put aside, but we was really doing stuff in the streets. So now we're trying to change and make a difference, trying to make the neighborhoods better, because it seems like the young kids really have no leadership or guidance, and they don't listen to anyone, so maybe they'll listen to us when we speak. And so far we had 60-some days without 140-something days without a shooting in our community. We out there every night. Even when I'm not working, I'm out there, targeting these young men because they're out there, they lost. So I stop them when I see something they're doing wrong, whether they listen or not. All I need is a minute or two to get your attention. I give them a spill of line. I spent 18 years of my life in prison, so I give them that spill that, somebody might not get as lucky as I got. And I got another opportunity to change my whole life and share my experience. So this is what I do every day, all day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. So I do want to start by saying that for those of us who are committed to the issue of gun violence prevention, it's actually, and I know it can be hard to believe sometimes, it's actually a really optimistic time to be a part of this movement. This is a different time, I think, in our modern history. This is a time when the people who run for office are actually running on the issue of gun violence, and it's no longer political suicide to run on this issue. And the other thing is, this is an election year, so everyone who's trying to keep their job as a lawmaker is listening to all of us because we can make sure they keep their job or lose their job. So we're actually quite powerful right now. And I think it's a different world than it was even 5 years ago. There's a national movement made up of so many amazing groups, including Pastor Henry's group, combating gun violence in suburbs and cities, just everywhere. So I'm a pediatrician at Montefiore Children's Hospital, and I actually only see adolescents. I only see teenagers. And so I hear every day how much gun violence sort of stifles the freedom and the life that we want for young people. And another very wonderful pediatrician, Dr. Agrawal at Lincoln Memorial Hospital, we got together and got the American Academy of Pediatrics to fund an effort to plan the creation of a small gun violence-free zone in the Bronx. It's kind of a big, lofty idea, but it's worthwhile, so we're trying to do it. So we started to have community meetings, and one of our most faithful members that comes is Pastor Henry, and that's how I met her. And so, first of all, thank you for coming. And so when we had these meetings, one thing that became really apparent was that people want the youth voice. It was originally just grown-ups coming to the meeting, and it became apparent that everyone wants to hear from young people. What would it look like to have a gun violence-free zone in the 40th precinct? And so we were thinking how to do that, and one way that we came up with, based on what's been done in the past, is something called photo voice. And so I just want to give you 3 sentences on what photo voice is. So photo voice is a method of sort of generating opinions, especially from young people, but it's based on the idea that people can generate their own ideas about how to change their neighborhood. It doesn't need to come from outsiders. And a really great way to get people to generate ideas is by using a camera. And these days, everybody has a camera, and everybody's a photographer, so it's sort of not a hard sell. And so what we want to do is, our first step is going to be a photo voice project involving young people. We're looking for 16, 17, and 18-year-old people, and they're going to use cameras to sort of look at their neighborhood and decide, first of all, what has gun violence taken from the neighborhood, and second of all, how could we go about creating a gun violence-free zone? Is it through faith communities? Is it through, the wisdom of elders? Is it through family? Is it through law enforcement? We're going to use the camera to generate those answers. And the real idea behind photo voice, and the real reason I love it, is that it doesn't just end with a bunch of pretty pictures. These pictures are supposed to lead to social action, and so we're planning an exhibition with basically policymakers and lawmakers who will attend. And it's a really amazing way to give young people a voice. Even if you're not old enough to vote, you can affect change and change people's opinions. And so I'm going to hold up our email address. If anyone knows of a young person, or if anyone is a young person that wants to be a part of this project, saferstreetbronx@gmail.com. Email, and we will make sure that you participate in this project. And I do want to just say one last thing. I don't want to take up a lot of time. I think the statistics are so overwhelming sometimes when we hear about how many young people die that it can cause something called compassion fatigue. You hear numbers, and it's so overwhelming to hear that 30,000 people died from gun violence that it makes you feel paralyzed. And so I think events like this are so important to just focus on one face and one story and one loss. Because at the end of the day, all of us who work in gun violence prevention, all it is caring what happens to other people's children. That's why we're here, because we care about other people's children. Parents shouldn't bury their children. Children should, bury their mothers too early due to gun violence. And it's just this very basic idea. So I just want to thank Pastor Henry for bringing us together on this. Thank you.